told Carlos, don't cut shit. So obviously, Carlos be chopping up these messy Mondays and pre-recording them, kind of like how he edits the show. He only leaves in what he approves of and what he likes.
Leave me alone. But I wanted to give a warm welcome to Tricia because although I obviously cast Tricia, I saw the casting tape, and I just want you to know this, Tricia, before we start. Thank you so much to you and Ken for agreeing to do this show. You are so, so good for this show. And as we were looking for a new couple, we definitely found two people who are just bringing so much to this series. So I, as a creator and executive producer of the show, wanted you to hear from me, for the world to hear from me. I thank you for saying yes.
Thank you too, because you know what? A lot of times people don't want to put their life on the line. A lot of people come to reality TV and they don't want to tell their honest to God truth. And I want to thank you, Tricia, because you have done that. So you are amazing. I'm gonna tell you, you're beautiful. You're smart. Now, some of the decisions you made on the show, it brings me pause. But we're gonna talk our way through it because maybe I don't understand. So I'm gonna give you a chance to explain it to me. But I think you're beautiful, and I thank you for coming here because you know we like to play. All it is in fun. Understand that, Tricia. But we really want the real answers, and we thank you for coming. Now, Carlos, I'm gonna start real easy.
Now, guys, I mean, did you hear that very, very warm welcome that Trisha got? I don't think any of the other cast members got such a warm welcome. Like, do you think that Carlos thinks that Trisha and Ken are his saving grace? Like, they're going to save this show and maybe keep this show from being canceled? I mean, that was a very, very warm welcome that Carlos gave to Trish. But let's keep on. Maybe we'll get some insight on that.
Okay.
Go ahead, Emily.
Love you. You are so beautiful. Workout regimen. I used to work out for. I go in the mornings for 4 hours. To start me off my day, my work day. 4. Mm-hmm.
You work out for 4 hours?
Yes. Yes. For 4 hours. Yes. And then I go at lunchtime because coworkers be pissing me off. So then I got to go and just let off steam, and then I go after work to get through the day. So would you say you're addicted to working out? Like, did it become like a hobby or something you just really like doing? When did you start working out and why? Well, I started working out because my dad passed away from congestive heart failure, and my mom went into a diabetic coma, and then she passed away. Well, they passed 7 months apart. They were married for almost 40 years, but they didn't take health quite serious, and they both passed at 55. So when I first jumped into this, it was like, I want to be alive at 55. That was my motto. I want to be alive at 55. So it's just, and I think the pandemic really helped me a lot because I didn't have to go into that 9 to 5. So it was just like, yes, I can just go and just clear my mind from everything. And then boom, right in the middle of the pandemic, my sister passed. Right at the beginning of the pandemic, my sister passed from congestive heart failure. So I actually passed in my arms. So it was just, it was just one of those like, yeah, I can't. I gotta do something different. So yeah.
Okay, guys. So we've all heard Trisha explain, what, started her to working out. And you know, I mean, after going through what Trisha went through, I mean, I can really see that you would want something to just take your mind off of what you were going through at the time. And this is going to lead into Trisha talking about why she was depressed and things like that. Now, my take on this situation is going to be probably different than other people's, perspective on Trisha and her situation. So as we get into this, reaction, you'll hear my perspective on Trisha and why she does the things that she does.
So you work out. I'm assuming that your diet is a strict diet as well, correct? What do you eat? What's your diet regimen? If you work out 4 hours, 5 hours a day, what are you eating?
My diet has always been strict, so that portion of it really didn't have to tweak or change much because I'm a picky eater. I don't eat much of any. I don't like fast food. I usually eat um, vegetables. I love vegetables, fruit. It's just yeah, my diet really didn't change too much because I've always been a picky eater. Always.
Wow. So how long have you been working out 5 days? I mean, 5 hours a day. And do you do it every day, or is it 5 days a week, 7 days, 6 days? You take a day off.
I should take a day off. This is probably bad for me to say. I do not. Um, I don't know. I guess when I try, I get into those little moods where it's like if I'm not doing something or exhausting my muscles is
So Trisha does work out a lot, but I also think that Trisha kind of used the gym as a place where she could meet people, because as we get into Trisha's story, I think we can safely assume that she met Martell at the gym. And then I think we can also safely assume that she also met Ken at the gym. So this was also a place that Trisha can go, to meet people or whatever the case may be, and just kind of get her mind off of what was going on the home front, especially after her and Marquez had separated, once he was no longer there for her, to get through the depression and what she was going through after losing her dad, her mom, and her sister in a very short period of time. And I don't really want to make this about Marquez because to me, he's kind of like a non factor. My focus is mainly on Trisha and Ken.
it just plays on with me mentally. So I do try to be in there every day. If it's not, even if I don't do 3 times a day, I'm in there at least once a day, every day, or twice. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like me. That's like me. I work out 6 days a week, and obviously it shows, as you can see. Like, Tricia, what do you think about my body?
I said it's showing. It's showing.
Thank you so much. So, Tricia, what made you say yes to being on Love and Marriage Huntsville? Because you live in Huntsville. The show has been on for a good 6 years. Um, what made you want to say yes? Because in Huntsville, this show is the talk of the town, and obviously, you knew stepping into it, people like me and Heavenly going to be all up in your business.
Now, before Trisha answers, I will say that I believe that Ken talked Trisha into being on this show. I'm starting to feel like Ken is he's an attention seeker and he likes to be in the public eye and he likes to be on Front Street. So I believe that somebody stepped to Trisha to be on the show. It could have been Martell, it could have been Stormy. I pretty much think it was out of Martell and Stormy. And after they approached Trisha about being on the show, I think that Ken, you know, persuaded Trisha to be on the show.
Okay, I'm going to be honest. It wasn't easy to say yes because I don't talk much. I don't talk much. I don't go out much. But I'm kind of a person. So it was definitely hard. It was hard for all the cameras being in your face. I'm like, oh Lord, this is a lot. This is a lot. Um, it was nerve wracking. I think my armpits sweated like every time the cameras came up. It was hard. But Ken was like, let's just do it. Let's just do it. Maybe this will be an outlet for you. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna try.
Now, when Trisha says that she's a private person, and everybody have their own version of what's private to them and what that means to them. So I think a better way to describe Tricia is an introvert. She's not really a social butterfly. To me, Tricia is more introverted. So I really do believe that she stepped out of her comfort zone to be on this show.
But yeah, because I just don't talk much. See myself like my little bubble. Always been in my little bubble.
So how we gonna do this? Is one question for Martell. I mean, one question for Martell must be on my mind.
And I would have to agree with you, Carlos. Martell is always on Heavenly's mind, and she always bring Martell up in random places when nobody is discussing Martell. I don't know what it is about Martell, but she's going to continue to call Carlos Martell. It's so funny. She always gets people's name wrong.
It's not. Honestly, it's not. One question for Carlos. Question is, why didn't you allow Ken to come talk to us?
Me?
Ken? No. I'm talking to Trish. I'm not question for Trish.
He could have. His schedule didn't got all out of whack. It didn't, and it's just yeah.
Because we prepared for that. We actually asked you for your schedule. We asked for both of you guys, and all of it. And convenience is not here. You know what I mean? So why didn't you want him here today?
I think all of this, it's all.
Now, for Heavenly to say, why didn't you want him to be here? Like, Ken doesn't have a mind of his own. Like, he can't make a decision whether he wants to show up for an interview. Like, she's already trying to, make this, like Trisha didn't want him to come, and have a sit down with her. Like, this man obviously decided not to, be present for this interview. And I personally don't think that Trisha had anything to do with it.
The stuff, the social media, the comments, everything, and for one, he thinks you're pretty hard. And when he said, "Ma'am, we be listening to your ass."
Tell her, Trisha.
Wait. First of all, I want to say, you have my complete condolences about the loss of your parents and your sister. I want to start by saying that.
Guys, even if you're in the bushes, make sure that you like the video. I really appreciate it.
Not
like the video.
You can tell it's in the air. We listen to her. We listen every Monday, just.
So tell me this, because a lot of times I say things and I probably don't realize. Was there something that I said that may have been offensive to him?
Now, Dr. Heaven, what you don't say don't be offensive to people.
Hello. Hello.
Thing.
I like that Trisha is standing up to her.
That is on TV. Like, what?
Well, yeah.
Wow.
But, it's like, I think it's like, we love you. I'm tell you, we'll be ready to tune in. Because I'm like, yes, I love that. They're like, oh, yeah, Dr. Heaven, don't eat your ass. I'm like, baby, let's go. Let's do it. Because I love the way you talk.
But the interesting thing is I haven't said anything bad about Ken. I always say good things about Ken.
That's true. I guess.
Now, she just told Trish to her face, well, I haven't said anything bad about Ken, probably about you, but not about Ken. Like, the boldness of it all.
He didn't know how this interview was going to quite go. And recently, social media has not been friendly.
To him or you?
Really, to him or to you?
Either side. On either side. On either side. So,
how do you feel? How do you feel when people call you lockjaw? They said that.
Now, guys, did you hear that? Carlos wanted to know how Trisha feels when people call her lockjaw. How do you feel when people call you demon and say that you're on demon time, Carlos? Of course, it doesn't feel nice when people call her lockjaw. Like, nobody wants to be made fun of about their looks, so.
You speak through your teeth. They're like, the only time she opens up her mouth wide is when she's talking to Martell. How do you feel when people say that about you?
Yeah, see, that was some bullshit. But I would say, in the beginning, I was not. Lord, this is a lot. So I didn't quite speak up and I didn't really know how to, because this is like the first time I've ever done anything remotely to being filmed. Anything. Like
Martell, she's so sweet.
I
Oh my
just
gosh, she's so sweet. Can't like you either.
Now, guys, Carlos has claimed that he doesn't read the comments, and he tells all of his cast members don't read the comments. But from that statement about Trisha having lockjaw or whatever, and she speaks through her teeth, that clearly says, Carlos, that you read the comments. So you can quit lying about that. You are probably glued to the comments. And honestly, I think that's how you determine how you're going to write the scripts for the show and how you're going to come up with storylines from what you see on social media, what you see, the content creators talk about on YouTube. That's how you decide the storylines of the show, in my own opinion.
You just nice as hell, but you pushed through. You
I
pushed through.
now don't know. It was hard. I did, but it was definitely. I think I had to have a pep talk off like every time we done it. But yeah, just nervous to speak. I was just nervous. I don't know.
And she still is, Martell. You shall go for a question, and I'm gonna come after you,
She
Martell.
just called Carlos Martel again.
I don't know. I don't know because I want to ask her about Martell, and it's coming
Well,
to my
go,
mind, but
no.
I'm trying to wait a minute before I go there.
You don't have to, because Martell's on. I don't look nothing like Martell.
Hello.
Okay, so Martell is heavy on your mind. So how about you go there and ask her all the questions you want to, Dr. Heavenly? Go ahead.
So, what else with this? I'll be politically correct. Is there anything on the show that was revealed or said that you wish was not said? Or yeah,
No, there isn't. Even with the Martell situation, because Martell and I spoke after the gym scene. I said, Martell, you made you made this shit so weird. Like, I don't have a problem with knowing that, telling people that I went to went to your house or whatever. He was just, oh, well, I didn't know you want to be, socialized with me. I don't have the greatest name out there right now. You ain't got shit to do with me, because there was nothing serious, nothing intimate, nothing between us. So it was like,
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get into my perspective of the Trisha and Martell situation. So a lot of people feel like Trisha slept with Martell. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb and say, I don't know. I'm not in them people's lives, their bedroom, so I can't say for sure. But again, I do believe that Trisha met Martell at the gym. And I believe that she met Martell at the gym during the pandemic when Martell was leaving his house at all times of the night, when he was still married to Melody. And I believe Trisha was one of the reasons that he was going to the gym, even though the world was on lockdown. I believe at that point he had already met Trisha, and I believe Trisha was the reason why Martell was getting to the gym. It could have been the beginning stages of Martell trying to push up on Trisha. You know what I'm saying? It could have been early on, and he was just kind of like trying to sell the deal, to get in her panties or whatever the case may be. Again, I'm not sure if that ever happened, because Trisha is very adamant about the fact that nothing ever happened between her and Martell. So I can't say either way. I kind of feel like something could have happened, but I can't say either way. And then I'm going to get into that a little bit more and tell my perspective on that whole situation. But let's continue.
care, but then I was like, oh, whatever, because it's like,
went over there. What did you go over there for?
Okay, so I went over there to train him. What's so crazy about this is, I say it without saying what's coming up. Let me see how to put this. There was a middle person in there that alerted him to me. But from my understanding,
and I believe that middle person was Chris Fletcher, and we'll get into that more about why I believe it was Chris Fletcher. Well, as a matter of fact, believe it was Chris Fletcher because I don't see Marceau didn't know Trish from the conversations that he's been having, with Ken and Trisha. It didn't seem like he knew Trisha too well. I don't think it was Maurice because he don't seem like he knows Trisha. The only person that seemed like they knew Trisha before she came on the show could have been Stormy and Chris Fletcher. So Stormy is surprised about everything with her and Martell. So it definitely wasn't her. So it almost had to be Chris Fletcher.
With the interviews he done, he used training as a gateway. But to be honest with you, despite what they say about Martell, he did not try to do anything with me. He did not try to get on me. Of course, I'm asking. That's why I love Dr. Heatherly. You got to ask what I like. See, I love her energy. So
yeah, she can be an asshole.
When I'm in gym mode, I'm in hood mode. I'm in like ghetto mode.
Now, the excuse that she gave for going to Martell's house, I find that hard to believe. But Martell used Trisha being his trainer to get her to his house. But I feel like Trisha was in such a bad space at that moment. She was going through depression, you know. So maybe when she got to Martell's house, he planned to talk Trisha out of her panties or whatever the case may be, but it just didn't happen because at that point, I don't believe Trisha was in a good place because Trisha has mentioned several times about how depressed she was, and I believe her. So I just don't believe Trisha was in a space when she met Martell to actually go all the way and sleep with him at that point. Now, later on, after, Trisha got over the depression, there's still this big question mark if maybe her and Martell got together later on. That's still a question in my mind. Hey, kicking it with Courtney. Thanks for being here, sis.
But it ain't gonna be no, oh my gosh, just this way. It's not. There's no prissy with me when it comes to the gym. When it comes to training, you're gonna get the military side of me. So, but I did come off as an asshole. He did tell me that.
And that's another reason why I feel like, Trisha and Martell may not have slept together because she said that Martell told her that she comes off as an asshole. So I do believe that because Trisha was in a state of depression, you know what I'm saying? She probably did come off that way. And that's why initially her and Martell didn't sleep together. But I definitely feel like Martell was trying to sleep with Trisha. And the fact that she said that she went to Martell's house, I believe when they initially met, Martell was still married to Mel. And that's when he first met Trisha. But I believe after him and Mel were no longer together, that's when he was able to convince Trisha to come to his house. And again, I don't believe anything happened when Trisha came to his house.
But yeah, so there was nothing serious about it. So I didn't see why it was like a serious weirdness to it, to be honest.
Question. So you say you went to his house to train him?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm missing
Hey,
something.
Rashida, thanks for being here.
Because my mind is watching the show, and I know a lot of things happen on the show, and maybe I didn't see it. But on the show, you said that you came to this house, but y'all never made it to the gym. Are you saying that y'all never made it downstairs to the gym? Because it seemed to me like if the world's going to think that maybe it's a fib there, that you're saying that you went to his house to train him, but then y'all never made it to the gym outside the house. That.
No, so we talked. We talked. We was talking about gym. We talked about the family because, of course, he still had Melody on his mind. He was talking about how he regret, toys and stuff in the floor. How he regret all that things that happened. And
which is why I believe initially when they met, he was still with Melody. But at that point, when Trisha went to his house, him and Melody, I don't think they were together anymore, which is why he felt so comfortable inviting Trish to come to his house.
I was recently separated myself. But then when he told me what had happened, the reason why they separated, when the asshole part came out. out of me because I was also dealing with
I believe that.
separation and was going through. I'm not gonna say I had hatred for men at that time, but I had that, y'all be doing some crazy, stupid shit in the back of my mind. So it's like, um, and then he said, what did he say? He was like, we was trying to talk about train. I invite you over here to be my therapist. So
And guys, see how Martell flipped the script. He said that he brought her over there to train, but no, you brought her over there to get in her drawers, Martell. But then when she gave you some insight to how she felt about, like, you lost your wife because of your own actions, and she let him know that. So then he got offended, and then he wanted to change the subject and say, well, oh, I thought, we came over here to train. That's not why you brought her over there, Martell. You brought her over there to sleep with her. And Rashida said, I think they were separated when they got together. Yes, I believe that as well, Rashida. I believe that when he invited her over to his house to train, that him and Mel was already separated. Hey, Dee Dee Star, thank you so much for being here.
well, I was like, well, whatever. I mean, you have a gym here, or we can go to the gym. Now it's called the Huntsville gym, I want to say. But it kind of threw me off because, like, yeah, you miss your family, but they're trying to keep you.
Hello. So basically, at that point, she was ready, like, oh, are we going to go to the gym? Are we going to work out? Because she was just like, yeah, you lost your family, but you didn't try to keep them. So this is what I feel about Trish. Trish met Marquez in the 10th grade. And ladies, I don't know anybody, if you met your husband at such a young age, your husband is all you know. Like, um, he's the only person she had probably been with at that point in time. You know what I'm saying? Because she met him in the 10th grade. They got married at a very young age. So her husband is all she knew. So another flip side to this is, and this is just another scenario, if she did end up sleeping with Martell, imagine being with somebody at such a young age. He's the only person that you've ever been with. So it's just like, you don't know what you're missing. Like, you've never had anything else. And if you do, you know, experience another partner or whatever, when you've only been with this one person, like, it would be easy for you to be like, damn, like, is this what I was missing? You know what I'm saying? Like that person can easily, like, just blow you away because you've never had anything else. Give me a second. Let me catch up on comments. Hey, CDW. And Rashida also said,
fell sharply today, all the way down to $50.01.
I'm not sure what that
That's
is.
$4
That
and
sounds like some
42
type
cents
of
lower,
Siri.
or 8.12%.
And Rashida said, I feel like everyone in Huntsville are kissing cousins. Rashida, you're going somewhere with that, because that's exactly kind of like where I'm going with that, with my perception of my perspective of this whole situation. You are absolutely right with your thoughts, Rashida. So I feel like if she did sleep with Martell, it was because Martell put that swag on her. She was vulnerable. She was lonely. She was depressed. She wasn't in a good place. And Martell was able to trick her out of her panties. Now, ladies, we've all been in a situation where we met a man, and you know what I'm saying? He just came saying all the right things, doing all the right things. Because keep in mind, at one point, Martell was a very handsome guy. Martell had money. Martell drove nice cars. Martell worked out every day. So it could have been easy for Martell to trick this vulnerable woman who was going through depression out of her panties. And I'm not taking up for Tricia, but when you live in a very small town, the men in the town, these small towns, and I'm speaking from experience, like, that's always their goal. they're married, they have many, multiple women on the side, and that's just what they do. And as a woman, if you try to break against, the rules and do something different, you're ostracized just like Mel was by the women, in small towns because they feel like if they're getting cheated on, why do you think you're so much better that a man is not going to cheat on you? You know what I'm saying? So to me, Trisha is more like Mel than not like Mel. And I know people say that Ken is a good man. And honestly, I think Ken is a good provider. And I think Ken know what to do to get women, you know what I'm saying, to fall for him or whatever the case may be. And I'm starting to feel like Ken is not this great guy that people think he is. Any woman that's in the process of dating a new man, if a man shows attention to your kids, I mean, first of all, you shouldn't really introduce, somebody you're dating so, soon to your kids. But men know if they play this role like, oh, they're going to be so good to your kids, like we're going to be eating that up. Just to be honest. But let's get further before I get off on a tangent because I got some more to say. But let's let Trisha talk before
it was just frustrating. But no, nothing happened. We didn't make the gym. We talked. I think he was just already in his feelings about life.
Trisha said Martell was already in his feelings because he wasn't able to smash.
Were you single?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I had just separated. Ken wasn't even in the air. It wasn't even a thought in my mind. Yeah. Okay. I met Ken about 2 years later.
Okay. When you first met Martell, were you attracted to Martell?
Yes.
Oh, I wasn't attracted to anybody. I was just trying to live life, work, and because that's when my sister passed. So I was still just doing my job, personal training, not letting clients down, doing my 9 to 5. I wasn't attracted to Martell. It wasn't, I think I was a ghost at that moment, at that point in my life, just still trying to maintain work-life balance and the demons playing in my head.
So again, I believe Trisha to some degree that she did not sleep with Martell because again, she said during that point in time when she met Martell, that was also close to the time when her sister died in her arms. So I don't think that she was in the headspace to sleep with Martell. And Rashida said, I don't think he is either. She said he knows what he's dealing with on the real. Trisha better be ready for the Ken effect. I feel like he's a whole problem. And Rashida, I feel the same way. I feel like Ken is a problem. I've been watching Ken's social media and when she's saying that women are all in, Ken's DMs and men are in her DM, I think there's more I think that there's more women in Ken's DM than men in her DM. And the reason why I say that is because, Ken is posting all of these thirst trap pictures or whatever on social media. And I believe that he's not really worried about keeping Trisha because this show has gained Ken so much attention that he doesn't really need Trisha anymore. I feel like the reason why, and she's gonna, say that coming up that at first Trent, Ken didn't want to get married. And I believe the reason why Ken didn't want to get married is because again, Ken has a good job, you know, Ken works out, he has a nice body, so I'm pretty sure there's lots of women pushing up on him, but he lives in the little small town of Huntsville, so he wasn't really getting the exposure because when you live in a small town, everybody been with everybody, everybody knows everybody, so the pickings are very slim. But by Ken being on this show, now he's getting all of this attention from all of these women, which is what he wanted, which is what Ken set out to do. Now he's posting all of these thirst trap pictures. So Ken doesn't really need Trisha anymore. And I think when Ken first met Trisha, she was kind of timid. She was depressed. She was going through some things. So she didn't have that glow like she does now. So Ken probably feels like he made, Trisha. Trisha's body started looking better, I'm sure, after working out. So, he's at some point he noticed that she was getting a lot of attention. So at this point now he wants to get married, you know. And Rashida said, I think so too. So this is my perspective on the Ken and Trisha situation.
So it was.
Why did you feel like he acted as if he didn't know you, and then you didn't spill all the beans from the very beginning?
That's right. That's why I was like, huh? Okay. Am I missing something? I mean, because like I said, this was my first time doing all this. So I was like, am I supposed to react a certain way? Am I supposed to be like, dude, huh? It's like, that's just weird. You just caught me off guard on some weird shit. And then when we talked, it was just like, oh, I think you want to be a son.
So to answer and give my opinion on why Martell acted like he didn't know Trish. He wanted to be mean to Trish because he was mad that he didn't get in them panties. So Martell did that, you know what I'm saying, because he didn't smash. So, he pretended like he didn't know her, like you're a non-factor, like we didn't smash or whatever the case may be. So that was like Martell's get back at Trisha, even though he knew that she had been at his house.
I'm like, dude, I mean, like, really? We're adults here. Like, am I missing something? Am I not supposed to know you? But yeah, it just threw me off. That was just so weird.
Threw everybody off.
I believe Trisha.
Y'all responded, and then the first thing in my mind, and I'm just a public looking. I don't know anything. I know Carlos, but I don't know anything. So I was thinking, like, was he still with Melody when y'all met? You know what I'm saying? Were you attracted to him? And then it was said, and it was cut up, and it was seemed like that they were saying that y'all never made it to the gym. And I'm thinking, like, well, what the hell happened that y'all couldn't made it to the gym?
Yeah, that's true. No, there was nothing serious between us. Nothing, none whatsoever.
The thing is this.
I believe Trisha.
He did. I want some interview. He was attracted to me. He just didn't come off to be that way. He never tried anything or anything with me.
So
she said that on multiple occasions that he never tried anything.
Was given your information through a male cast member on our show. Right?
That's correct.
Chris Fletcher.
Okay. So this male cast member on our show referred you to Martell. When that happened, did you think it was anything salacious that was being set up? Or did you think it was strictly because he wanted you to work Martell's body in the workout sets?
So we can't say who referred him. Is that what we're trying to do?
No, I do not
Why?
work Martell ass out. It was, to me, it was, I want to say messy a little bit, but because of this person and their relationship with Holtz, it was that shit was weird too. So I'm like, why are y'all discussing me? Because I'm on y'all asses. This is weird. So then,
Okay, guys, who do you think introduced Trish to Martell? They said it was a male, so honestly, I can't think of anybody outside of Chris Fletcher. But let me know in the comments if you think it was somebody other than Chris Fletcher that introduced Trisha to Martell, because she's saying it was a weird situation. She's saying that she didn't really talk to that person like that. Who do you guys think it was that introduced Trisha to Martell? And I'm pretty sure they went under the guise of she can train you. Okay, Courtney says it was Chris. She feels like it was Chris in her opinion. And I feel the same way, Courtney.
my name
Who it is?
So the thing is, Heavenly, it's coming up on this it's coming up. So I don't want to get.
But it's guess who it was.
Well, guess.
You gonna guess? It was. If it was messy, it was definitely Marceau.
More so.
Moving on, y'all acting like y'all saw a damn deer with headlights. Anyway, but I really do think I'm telling the truth. If it was messy, because his brother, what's his name, Maurice? Maurice don't seem like the type to me that would have done that. Tris ain't thinking about y'all. Moses got his own shit going on. It was Marceau.
Well,
I still feel like it was Chris because honestly, if it was Chris, it was still messy because first of all, Chris, you're supposed to be friends with Mel, so why would you be introducing Martell to Trish? So that's probably where the messy part comes in. Is the fact that, you know, you were supposed to be Melody's friend and you introduce, Martell to Trish. Okay, so Rashida also feels like it was Chris Fletcher.
I'm gonna say this to you: it wasn't Marceau.
Hello. I didn't think so. Back to Chris Fletcher.
What you? What?
And honestly, that would be the only reason why she would want to keep it a secret because that's so messy. And if that got out that Chris is the one that introduced her to Martell, like we already had a side eye for Chris and Nell, and that would really make Chris look bad at this point.
It's coming out on the show, Dr. Heavenly, that Martell was referred. Tricia was referred to Martell by a male cast member, and we are figuring out the reason behind it. And
I
we
can't wait
actually
to hear
Heavenly,
that.
so the audience can know. That's why they have to keep watching this season. It does come out, and it does get confronted, and this confrontation happened 2 days ago.
Got it. Understood. And it went well for y'all. Got it. Okay. I'm gonna move on. Okay, I got it.
Guys, do you hear the frustration in Heavenly's voice? Like Heavenly seems to be very frustrated and a little annoyed that Ken didn't come for this interview. Like she was really looking forward to Ken being there. Like,
My question time.
Go ahead.
My turn. Okay. Well, you got a lot of my questions because my question was Martell married at the time you said he was separated? You both were separated. And I asked you already, is there anything on the show that was revealed that you wouldn't want it to be revealed? And you said no, it was fine. Everything was fine, right?
No, none whatsoever.
Nothing on the show was revealed that you didn't want to be revealed. Okay, good. No. So, being on reality TV, I'm gonna just go into relationship mode. Being on reality TV, is there anything that you changed in your relationship based on the court of public opinion?
Temptation is so good.
That's
You
his
buy me
commercial.
one donuts will save me or us.
Yes.
And keep in mind, guys, Trisha is taking a long time to answer these questions, and it's just because she's a real introvert. Like she's not an outgoing person.
Because see, here's the thing. I was in the craziest 14-year marriage. It was never communication.
I believe
when
that.
we did communicate, it was like a battle.
And that's another reason why I don't feel like Trish would be so quick to get with another man, especially another man that's trying to sleep with her. And she also knew at that point why Martell lost his family from cheating. So I just don't feel like Trish, would jump in the bed with Martell after everything she went through with her husband, during that 13-year marriage. And then also 3 deaths back to back, the depression. Like, I just don't feel like Trisha was in a place to jump in the sack with Martell. It might have been tempting for her. Martell is attractive. I'm pretty sure she was attracted to Martell. But at the end of the day, I don't believe they slept together.
It was a battle every time. So I'm used to that. And when Ken came along, I tell Ken all the time, I'll probably do this a couple times. I don't know how he came along because for one, my brain was in outer space and I didn't talk. I didn't socialize with anybody. I was just to my little self.
Okay. So Rashida said she's an intro liar, and she said she does. So she feels like Trisha slept with Martell, which is the opinion of a lot of people. So I gave you guys two different scenarios. I'm leaning more to the fact that I don't believe they slept together, but I said that if they did sleep together, Martell used the fact that she was in a vulnerable place at that moment, and he basically took advantage of the situation. But I'm leaning more towards that they didn't sleep together.
Because I just didn't want to deal with anybody's emotions, and
But
anybody
Rashida,
to deal with my
everybody feels the same
emotions
way
because it wasn't
that you
quite
do,
right
just to
then.
let you know.
But I think I was expecting the worst from Ken because I had dealt with it for so long. I was always expecting that blow up, that moment to happen. So I think I just kind of put a block in between us. I didn't let it go far.
Now, the fact that she said that she put a block in between her and Ken, I think that that's what she was doing to every man. She said earlier in this interview, I'm not going to say that I was a man hater, but I think she kind of, had this negative feeling towards all men, after her separation with her husband of 14 years. And I believe that man really put her through some things because he seems to be very childish and just pretty much does whatever he wants to do while she's there to hold everything together, to take care of the kids. I know a person in, real life that is very similar to Trish and Marquez. And that's why I say that. And they could really put you in a place where like you just hate all men.
And then I guess it's this whole being married, and that whole situation was a disaster. Divorce was a disaster.
Well, you're not divorced
Everything was
yet.
a disaster.
So have you started the divorce? Because you said the divorce was a disaster. Are you
She just told on herself.
No.
have you proceeded with the divorce? That's my question. Have you proceeded with the divorce? Because you said the divorce was a disaster.
Oh yeah.
I don't believe it.
So you
Trish.
all are in the process of divorce,
Yes,
right?
I have. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Did you end up paying half of the filing fee that Marquez wanted you
I
to?
believe they have, filed for divorce, but I don't believe they're
I
divorced
ended up
yet.
paying for it. Yeah.
You paid for the whole thing.
I'm not going to do that. It's just that's just like pocket change. Yeah. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to even entertain that. I was like, yeah, okay, sure.
How are things?
I believe this man hurt Trisha so bad, and that's why she speaks up. If he needed money, she gave it to him. She just wanted to be done with him. She wanted him out of her personal space. Trish was like, stick a fork in me. I am done, which is another reason why I feel like Trish was not in a space, for Martell, knowing how Martell ruined his own marriage. She was probably looking at Martell like he was another Marquez.
So obviously, there's been tons of conversations about you, Martell, and King. And like you said, the comments are commenting. You watch me and Heavenly's recaps. A lot of people have said about you that you're a liar, that you have a good man that you don't deserve. A lot of people are asking Ken to leave you. Has this storyline that has occurred between you and Martell, has it impacted your relationship with Ken today?
Well, yes, it is. Yes, it has, because his name is like always brought up. And now, recently, you can't bring up Martell without throwing my name in there somewhere. So it's like, gosh, hate keep having to say this over and over again. I do not think about none of the M.
Hey, Venus. Thanks for being here.
Marquez, Martell, Maurice, or Marcel. once I leave their site. I do not think about those jokers, but it has it because the comments will get to you. Social media will get to you, and it's like, oh Lord, here we go again. You read something,
Them
and that's what
comments
you say.
kicking Trisha
And you
ass.
didn't think on it. And you think about it for too long. It's like, no.
Now, I also feel like after, Martell wasn't able, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, to get in Trisha's panties, what better way to kind of, because I think he cut her off after that. Like, I feel like, in my opinion, that they didn't have a lot of communication after Martell wasn't able to, talk her, smash or whatever the case may be. So, um, what better way to kind of get some get back is to come on the show with another good looking, fine dude that you can't, you know what I'm saying, run up on because you don't want to get smashed. So I feel like Trisha kind of, came on the show with Ken to rub it in Martell's face. And that's just my opinion. And Venus said, "Why did you scare me?" Laugh out loud. I forgot you were live just that fast. Little Venus, you're a mess. Oh my God. She says, "Hey, boo, I'm going to be there tomorrow at Kicking It with Courtney." And Kicking It with Courtney says, "Can't wait to see you, love, at Venus." And she said, "Facts."
Ask a question. What was you guys' relationship for real? So yes, it has. It has.
Well, to me, okay, and this is just my opinion. I only see 7 minutes of you guys, and I'm doing reality TV, so I know that's not a good depiction of what really goes on. But it appears that Ken is a great guy.
Oh my God.
Learned anything about your relationship on reality TV?
What y'all call him?
Appreciate him and the man that he is. Because the only reason I'm saying this is because I used to fuss at my husband all the time and, say different things, you know what I mean? And I knew I had a good man. But once I got on reality TV, I realized just how good he was. Do you realize just how good?
Courtney, what we call him? Pig Misha? Dr. Heavenly is really sounding like a pig Misha right now. Like, she doesn't know Ken. Like, I mean, at this point, I don't really feel like Trisha knows Ken, but for some reason, Heavenly feels like she knows Ken so well and he's such a good guy. Like, I don't believe it. And that's just my opinion. I don't think Ken is this good guy that everybody thinks he is. I don't think he's this lame guy that everybody think he is. You know what I'm saying? I think Ken could potentially be a hoish ass nigga, in my opinion. And keep in mind, Ken is a truck driver. What have you heard about most truck drivers, ladies? Let's keep it real. Ken might have a woman in every area code. Like, we don't know that man like that. And we just have to keep an open mind until we get to know Ken better. And I think Trish know Ken a lot better than we do. And during this interview, she basically gives me the impression that she don't care if Ken stay or go. You know what I'm saying? Because Trisha knows something that we don't know. And she's going to allude to them, get into an argument the day before. And if you follow Ken on social media, he couldn't be at this interview, but Ken was somewhere at a beach, like he was on vacation. I'm just saying.
It is based on what you see in the world. Because I didn't realize I had been with my husband 20 years before I started reality TV. I thought he was a regular, I didn't think he was regular. But I'm saying when I saw everybody else's relationship, I was like, oh my God, hit the jack. Do you feel that now? Because I feel you hit the jackpot with Candy.
Yeah, yes, I do. Trust me.
Did you just hear Dr. Heavenly? She said that she feels like Trisha hit the jackpot with Ken. Like, bitch, please. What make you think that? You don't know Ken. Damn.
And you're right. Looking at everything, yes, I do. I do.
Have you told him?
Oof. See, this part finna piss me off.
No.
You act like you know Ken in real life, Dr. Heavenly.
Because he was having a dark time. He did.
And I can believe that. He was saying and doing all the right things.
A lot.
Listen, if you want to jump in, but I keep talking. Listen,
No. Go ahead.
in a relationship, okay, you always realize that usually in a relationship, when you crazy about a man, the relationship don't work out. It's clear that Ken is the person that it appears that he cares about you more or did.
Mm-mm.
But now, to me, now that you got him, I think that you should tell him how much you realize how good a guy he is. Because to me, okay, you get negative press too, but I understand reality TV. It's a lot of hoes gonna be in his DM because they see what I see. Not that I'm attracted to him.
Dr. Heavenly, you thirsty. And you're the type of woman that fall right into those thirst traps. And Venus said he bought her son a car, right? Yes, he did, Venus. Like I said, Ken has money. So, like, a lot of men know what to do, you know what I'm saying, to get the woman, you know. So he's basically love bombing her, basically through her kids. Men do it all the time. Because as a woman, like, you deciding to move forward with a man is going to depend on a lot of times how he responds to your kids and how your kids respond to him. So I feel like he was love bombing Trisha, you know what I'm saying? Just to get her where he wanted her and make her think that he was so into her.
Anything like that, but we see that he's a great guy. And when you see great guys, and I do this, and I know it's kind of wrong. But if Dr. G on our show got DMs all down Ken got a lot of DMs. So my whole thing
And
is
he
this,
did, which is what he was intending
tell
on.
man what he is to you and what, because my whole thing is your presence right here has changed my whole appearance for you. Because to me, I thought honestly that you be lying. Now I see that you just don't be really saying everything because you be trying to, you know what I'm saying, not speaking, and it appears to be lying, but you're probably one of the most truthful people on that show based on what you said from the beginning of this when I asked you where's Ken and why is he not here.
She was very honest about that. Dr. Heavenly just made a good point that she feels like she's one of the most truthful people on that show because she told them straight up that Ken was not there, didn't want to be there. And, she said that they got into an argument. Nobody else would have said that. Like, nobody would have said that. And Venus says she loved throwing shade at Sweet Tea, laugh out loud. Yes, she loved throwing shade at timid women. Trisha is a timid woman. She's an introvert, which is why, you know what I'm saying? She's not used to being in an interview and she don't know that she shouldn't say certain things. So she's just basically telling her truth.
Just say this. You got a good man, Savannah. You better run to. I ain't telling you because you're a great person too, and I see now what he's attracted to. But yeah,
First of all, baby, you are the prize. Don't ever let a thirsty ass woman tell you that you need to run to your man and tell him how much you love him. You are the prize. And if you did that and followed Heavenly's instructions, then Ken gonna know he got you right where he wants you. So if you listen to Heavenly, honey, then you're gonna be the fool because Ken gonna play you like a fool.
don't tell him. That man bought them kids a car. Girl, you can find that shit nowhere.
Yes, you
I
do.
got it in Huntsville.
Yes, you do. And see, this is a problem with people trying to give advice and giving bad advice. You know what I'm saying? That's some badass advice, in my opinion. And instead of her telling her, she did tell her she was beautiful, but telling her, you don't have to run behind no man, let that man, because I feel like a woman should never pursue a man. A man should always pursue a woman. So she's giving bad advice. And this is why a lot of women are messed up because they're being given bad advice.
100%. But you could tell it's a fresh kind of innocence about her. That's why he's attracted to her. Not only are you beautiful, you got that part. Your body's perfect, you got that. But there's a genuine innocence about you that you could
And you know what else Ken like about her? She was married for 14 years. She met her husband in 10th grade, so she ain't been around. Unlike some of them hoes in Huntsville. She married her husband right out of high school. So she ain't been around. That's what Ken likes about Trisha.
tell that you not like the other hoes. It seemed like you almost truthful because be on the show, it doesn't portray that. It almost seems because you're not saying stuff that you're trying to hide shit. That's why I was saying that it looks like, why the fuck don't she just spill the beans? Because it seems like she lying. But you don't do that because you're trying to
That's
be
not who
reserved.
she is.
And you don't understand reality TV that when you do that, the people gonna take the reservedness and run with it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, girl, y'all gonna be all right. You and Ken gonna be all right. He could have came here because now I see y'all got you. He's got a good woman too.
Hello. And that's what you should have led off with, Dr. Heavenly. Shit, trying to make like a scene like Candy Prize.
Well, before you ask that, hold that thought, Heavenly. I wanna ask her something that you mentioned, but don't forget your train of thought.
I get it written down.
Has women been in Ken's DMs?
Yeah, she already said
I
that.
think we both get it. It's so weird. I get phone calls from Instagram in the middle of the night.
Hello. Shit, Ken ain't the prize.
Yeah,
Shit.
it's the weirdest.
Men, women, everything.
Wait, even though you can call, I didn't even do Facebook call. You can call on Instagram.
Listen, ladies.
What do
Trish ain't no bad looking lady, and she got a nice body. All Ken got is a nice body. Let's keep it real.
Okay, let me ask you this.
And that's probably why
What
Ken
do
mad.
the men be saying to you, and what do the women be saying to Ken in the DMs?
Me, I've gotten trip offers.
They want to fly Trish out.
Better offers.
Hello.
He has gotten, if that relationship don't work out, let me know. We have been getting the weirdest slap.
Beanie say he like asking dumb questions. Okay, look at it like this, guys. If Trish, and Ken break up, you know what I'm saying? Trish gonna be getting flued out. But if Trish and Ken break up, Ken gonna have to be flying women out. You know what I'm saying? Don't ever get it twisted.
Show each other the DMs.
We be laughing and showing each other same thing, same time. We just be cracking up. Like, wait, what? Okay.
All right, go ahead, Emily.
The question is, do you regret bringing your husband on the show? Or your ex-husband, your soon-to-be ex-husband?
That trash.
When I saw him, I know I'm wrong to say this, but let me say this. He wasn't good enough for you, sis. And it was so obvious when he first showed it. I mean, he's not a bad-looking guy, but you could just tell the presence of him was nothing like Ken. He wasn't good enough. Did you realize that when you finally got with him and had some closure, that this brother was probably never the man for you?
She was young, Dr. Heavenly. Get a girl some grace. And that's the father of her kids. Don't answer that question.
I think you broke up that last part.
Trish played her. Trish did not want to answer that question because at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? She was young. That's the father of her kids. Why throw him up under the bus? For Heavenly to just be rude as hell. And Courtney said Martell can't afford to fly nobody out. Trish want Martell. And honestly, Courtney, that is something that we agree on. I do think that Trish is more physically attracted to Martell than she is Ken. You like what you like. I don't care if this man over here got money, whatever the case may be, fine, whatever. You like who you like. So I would agree that I do feel like she's more physically attracted to Martell than she is to Ken. I mean, you can't hide it. At the end of the day, I still don't feel like she slept with Martell, but I do feel like she's physically attracted to Martell. He does it for her. And imagine this. You meet this fine guy at the gym or whatever the case may be, and you are physically attracted to him. He has some good conversation. He looks good. He smells good. But then you find out his story, and why he lost his wife. It's a small town. So I think that's what ultimately turned Trisha off from Martell is that she heard that backstory, in my opinion. And then Venus said she wanted to. And I agree, Venus. She probably did want to sleep with Martell. But she knew that Martell was a dog. And she probably went to that same person that introduced her to Martell and was like, why did you introduce me to this dog? Like, he cheated on his wife. He has a side chick already. Like, why would you introduce me to him? What was that all about?
You didn't hear me. Okay.
Did you
Saying,
catch me?
no, I didn't do anything you said. It seemed like you froze. But my question was, did you regret bringing your soon-to-be ex-husband on the show? Because it was so obvious that he was not, in my opinion, humble opinion, he was not good enough for you. He was not good enough for you. And to compare him to Ken, it was like night and day. Did you see when you got closure that this man probably was never the man for you?
That girl do not want to answer that question. Dr. Hemming said, is she doing this shit on purpose?
Charlotte showed me that. It was a few years after we were married that showed me that. Because we met in 10th grade. We've been dating since we were in 10th grade. But
hey, MAF, thanks for being here.
As an adult, as a mom, I was in the Army, still working for NASA, still there. I was ready. It was time for us to close that high school chapter because now we have a kid. Now we have someone that's going to look at us as an example. To grow older. He's going to look at his dad as a representative, like no representation to what a man is supposed to be, and his mom as to who a wife that he wants later down the road. A wife that he wants. He wants his wife to be like his mom, and he's supposed to be wanting to be like his dad.
So, again, Tricia is an engineer from NASA, so she's actually the catch, versus Ken. And MAF said, Tell said she had been at the crib several times. She did say that she's been at Martell's house a couple of times. I did hear that, but I still feel like she didn't sleep with Martell. That's just my opinion. Um, and I also threw out another scenario when it comes to Trisha and Martell, but I'm still leaning towards, the fact that Trisha didn't sleep with Martell. And Venus said, my husband did not want a woman like his mom. We're opposites. And, Venus, that could be true because, for obvious reasons that maybe you can see. But generally speaking, they say, some sons do want a woman that's similar to their mom because, but that's not always the case.
And he just could never close that childish character. So then it got harder because I almost had to continue doing what I was doing, as well as picking up slack on his behalf. So it got frustrating. It got frustrating there.
Now, with Trisha being in that type of relationship, and keep in mind, Martin is a lot like Trisha's husband, if we're keeping it real. That's another reason why I feel like Trish was not trying to be with nobody like Martell. If you done came out of a 14-year relationship with a big kid, which is really ultimately what Martell is, I don't think you're trying to go there again. Like, this woman is an engineer, you know what I'm saying, at NASA. So again, Martell fooled Trisha, to his house, thinking that they were going to be working out. That's Trisha's business. That's what her business is. She books people, she makes house calls. She can come to your house, you can go to a local gym. That's her business. So I believe that that's how Martell got Trisha to come to his house under the guise that they were going to be working out and she was going to be training him. And Diddy Star said she gets real giddy around Martell. She does Diddy Star. She's very attracted to Martell. I totally agree. He does it for her. And I believe if if she didn't, find out and realize that Martell was this dog ass nigga, then she might have wanted to be with Martell. But I believe during their little chats and conversation, you know what I'm saying? She probably thought Martell had potential, but then once they started speaking, and she said this, that Martell got irritated because, she called him out and said, you ruined your marriage, and then, at that point, he was just like, well, I didn't think you came here to be my counselor. I thought you came here for us to work out. So then he knew Trish wasn't on that type of time. Like she wasn't gonna sleep with his ass. She wasn't gonna smash. And that's just my opinion. And Pretty Brown Eyes said, hi from the bushes. I'm listening and painting. Laugh out loud. Great conversation. And let's get back into it, guys.
Great. Finances is major part, but to me it wasn't. But it was the consistency of not being financially stable. Not for me, but as a man.
Mm-hmm.
So it got hard. It did.
So I guess the question the world would want to know is why did you stay so long and why did it take you so long to get that divorce? Because they're saying it's 5 years. Am I wrong?
Yes. It was 5 years. That's correct. Well, when we had this, it's crazy because we had this I was watching Amari Jabbar on TV, and then Xavier was supposed to be at this football thing that he was at on TV. The news was casting everything there, and we got into this argument because he just came in, but then he wanted to go and buy a bottle and go party with his friends. I'm like, but your son is supposed to be out there with his friends. You just came back from your friends. You want to go get a bottle and go back and party? No. Let's go out there with the other family and let your son be with his football friends. Like this is crazy. This is getting a little crazy. So we got into this huge argument. He was just like, we had already spoken about divorce, and then he was like, yes, I think we should go ahead and get a divorce. And I was like, yes, I absolutely think we should. So he disappeared. I mean, he moved all his stuff upstairs. I stayed downstairs. We rarely saw each other. He got into his apartment. Wherever he needed help, I was always there to help financially. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna be that type of person. Whether you piss me off or not, especially if you finna get the hell out of my space, yeah, I'm gonna help you get there.
Hello.
But I never seen him. I never seen him.
And now a lot of people can't understand why Trish didn't get a divorce sooner. And that goes back to the title of the video. She was depressed. When you're depressed, you're trying to get from one day to the next. Like, as long as he over there in his space and he's not bothering you, for some people, it's just not a pressing issue. She's been with this man for 14 years. They have 2 kids together. She was trying to deal with her depression. Like, he was a non-factor at that point, and he got comfortable with that. Don't get me wrong. And he thought that she would never leave him. And that's probably what you seen in the scene, when Marquez was crying. Because I really feel like he thought that Trish just would never leave him. Like, he knew that she would probably date other people, but for some reason, I just don't feel like Marquez thought that Trish would leave him. He thought he had that type of hole just because they've been together since they were in the 10th grade. It was more like a friend type of situation, more so than anything.
My little life, he went on his little life. It was a lot of issues in between then. And then I was already mentally dealing with stuff, which really pissed me off. Because I'm like, dude, I'm going through the most. And when I need you the most, you're entertaining other people the most.
And honestly, all she wanted was a friend.
When he left, I didn't see him. He didn't see me. We never talked about actual divorce paper, maybe once or twice. And then he would go ghost. where the hell, I don't know where the hell he went to. I don't know.
He
But
get ghost when she go to talk about them divorce papers.
and that was that. It was just like a lapse in time. I didn't talk to him. He didn't talk to me. And it was not like I needed, to me, I didn't really need to talk to him anyways. For one, again, I was not mentally stable. That I was mentally stable. It was just I was going through a depression of my own.
Now, guys, I want you guys to pay attention to how many times she said that she was not mentally stable. She said this multiple times during the show. She's actually said it at least 5 times during this one interview. Tricia was in a bad place, guys. Imagine losing your mother and your father within 7 months, and then shortly thereafter, you lose your sister. And that's why she got into the gym, because she wanted to be healthy. Because her dad and her sister died from the very same thing at a very young age.
So I didn't feel the need to talk to him because I felt like he was going to be a trigger to it. Again. So, but the kids had, if he wanted to talk to them, he can always call them. And if it was an emergency, of course I would have picked up the phone and told him there was something going on with his kids or anything or whatever. But I didn't feel we needed to talk. Out of sight, out of mind. And it was like the biggest relief. When I tell you it was like cloudy and then the sky just turned blue, it was like
Trisha was done. Like, stick a
free.
fork in me, I'm
He's
done.
free to do.
And Pretty Brown Eyes said, I believe Trisha did divorce him so that she wouldn't have to split her retirement and 401k, as well as sell the home if they owned it together. She was a breadwinner. Okay, that's a good perspective, PBE. And then she also said she didn't want to give her money to that bum. Ken is exactly like Martell. Okay, so PBE seems to think that Ken is like Martell. And that's exactly how I feel, PBE.
Whatever you want, go and party as however you want, as long as you want, go house to house, wherever you want, and you get to breathe without dealing with what I'm dealing with the kids and dealing with him.
This lady was going through a lot, y'all. I'm just saying.
I guess, and don't want to belabor the point, but Ken was in the picture for about 2 years, correct? I'm thinking, I get that you didn't even really want to talk to him. You didn't even want to deal with it in your mental space. But Ken is a guy here, he wants to marry you. It took you a while according to the show, to start the process of the divorce, but I guess you just didn't want to deal with it.
Yeah. Oh, let me give a little background on that.
She was happy to get to this point.
In the beginning, of course, you talk relationship. I did.
Trish was waiting to get to this part in the interview. She lit up when Dr. Heavenly asked this question. And read between the line, guys. It's a reason why she lit up when she asked this question. This guy initially didn't want to get married. Now all of a sudden he want to get married. It might be because of that. She's an engineer, and that retirement money, that 401k that PBE speaks of.
I think Ken I was going to go that far because when I was like, this guy is not going to put up with me because I'm like all over the place here. I am a mess.
A mess
here.
And keep in mind, guys, she met Ken 2 years after, being separated, and she was still a mess.
He told me up front, he was like, do not want to get married. I am so against marriages and being married. So I was like, yeah, okay, that's fine with me. We hear mutual. We're on mutual. This is something that we both. He didn't want to be married, and I was like, yeah, the shit I've been through, I ain't trying to get married no time soon either. But it was so weird. That's why I keep saying.
Hey, Mama Bees, thank you so much for being here, boo.
It was just like, I have never wanted to get married, but I want to marry you. And that was recently. Was like,
how recent was this? How recent?
I want to say almost a year ago. Almost a year ago.
So that Tricia girl.
Wait, what?
Now, guys, give me your opinion on why you think Ken told her initially he didn't want to get married. He was totally against, getting married. And then all of a sudden it switched. And all of a sudden he wants to get married. tell me your thoughts on why Ken all of a sudden wants to get married.
I was okay. Now I know what's changed. Why is it different? Because when I tell you this guy was like, mm-mm, because he saw the worst of marriage. I didn't. On the other hand, I saw my mom and dad argue, get into arguments, but I also saw her fixing the plate and give her a kiss right after. But so my example of marriage was totally different from his, although my actual marriage was not what my mom and dad was. So he didn't quite see that. So he said marriage scared him. He was just like, no, he didn't want to do it. I never. Mm-mm. And then I don't know what happened. It was just like a flip.
Honestly, guys, I think Ken still doesn't want to get married. I think him telling Trish that he wants to get married is all fluff, to be honest. That's just my opinion. You let me know what your opinion is.
If Ken proposes to you today, would you say yes?
I would say yes, but I would say we do need counseling. I do not want to make I do not want to carry past drama or make the same mistake again. Um, because then we didn't communicate. We argued, we bumped heads, and then we never talked to each other. We never aired out what was wrong, what this person done, or how we could fix it. Um, we never took into consideration each other's feelings. I don't want to do that again. I want it to be not, but damn near perfect.
Guys, that marriage taught Trisha a lot. And that marriage taught Trisha what she does not want. And I believe that Martell, Ken, and Marquez, whatever his name is very much the same type of people.
You know what the world is seeing, and I get what you're saying completely, but what the world is seeing is looks like to me that Ken is a great communicator. Like if I don't know about your other husband, I mean your husband, but Ken seems like he's gonna be totally different, and
Shade.
it's almost unfair. And it is what it is for you to bring that past stuff to him because he looks like he'll tell you what his issues were. When you trained with Martell and y'all had that scene, and he sat up and he looked at you in a calm manner. That's what a man is supposed to be, and that's what probably a lot of women see. He said to you calmly, he was like, "If I had done that." And didn't explain to you that I had been to the gym with Melody, let's just say Melody, how would you have felt? How would you have taken it? And he's such a great communicator. So yes, I agree therapy, but to me, he already there. You might not be,
No, he's
but he
not.
is.
He's there on a certain level. We both still have a way of communicating. I think because he has past trauma relationship, so I think we always think that when we do have these smallest disagreement, we always think that we're trying to battle one another. Like I'm trying to battle him. He thinks I'm trying to battle him, and I think he's trying to battle me. So the battle just keeps going argumentatively until we both have to get to a point to where we can communicate and listen to one another instead of
Guys, Trisha is being honest in this interview. Like she's doing it in a way that she doesn't want to throw Ken up under the bus. They're already arguing or whatever. So she's just trying to say everything in a way that it does not offend Ken and it doesn't make Ken look bad. However, if you go and look on Ken's social media, Ken is somewhere at the goddamn beach. Ken could be at the beach with another woman, okay? She not falling for the okie doke. You know what I'm saying? She done been through this for 14 years. So she's seen Ken's type. She's just trying to be nice about the situation. And she's not trying to throw Ken up under the bus. But I believe she's seen some red flags in Ken. Not like, Heavenly over there. Oh, he's a good man, Savannah. She done seen some things that has caused her to kind of step back. And she's seen the red flags, in my opinion.
arguing. Um,
When was the last time you guys appear to be a great couple? When was the last time you and Ken got into an argument?
Yesterday.
Telling the truth. Telling the truth.
What was the last? Wait, what did yesterday?
doing this damn.
Good night, MAF.
Wait, no, I'm Instagram.
That it was social media. It's what people are saying, and yeah, and Martell.
Y'all argued about Martell again yesterday in social media? Yesterday.
Let me interject here, Trish. Trish, boy.
Nah, people seem to think that Trisha is a big liar. And I'm not saying that Trish isn't a liar, but to me, Trish looks more like she's brutally honest because she just sat right there and said that they had an argument about Martell. Because for some reason, and I don't think it's because he feel like Trisha slept with Martell. Ken knows that she has a thing for Martell, that she's physically attracted to Martell, and that intimidates Ken. We all see it. All of you guys have said that Trisha is attracted to Martell. I see it too. So I think that that's the reason why they're having these situations about Martell, because on camera, Trish didn't make it clear that she's all into Ken. Trish got him looking like a fool on camera. Everybody's thinking that, Ken is lame because he's letting Trish walk all over him or whatever the case may be. But, Ken is intimidated by Martell. And not because she's been with Martell, but the fact that everybody sees that she's attracted to Martell.
Your husband, for your man say, Ken, you don't have to tell every damn thing. Because to me, he's not. The fact that
make up your mind, Heavenly.
Not gonna like the fact
you said she was a liar. Now she's telling her truth, and now you telling her she don't have to tell everything. We want to know her truth. That's what we want to know.
That you're saying on this podcast that y'all argued about Martell. I'm just telling you for future.
No. In her defense, she said that was one of the many things they argued about yesterday.
But his name, because I'm just saying from a woman's point of view.
Go ahead.
If you brought up a bitch,
it was social media.
Social media. And guess what, guys? Guess what social media is saying? Everybody believes that she slept with Martell. So social media have formed their own opinion. So whether that's true or not, we don't know. You know what I'm saying? Now Ken is starting to side-eye her and feel like she slept with Martell, whether it's true or not. Social media.
Social media, I guess.
Let me ask you this, because Ken is here to defend himself. Let's have a real conversation, right? At the end of the day, Ken is a man and he's an alpha male. And one thing, Heavenly can agree to this, there's only so much a man can take when people are talking about his woman. And I have two questions within one, because it appears like in every relationship, one person loves the other more than they love them. That's in every relationship. Dr. Damon loves Dr. Heavenly more than she does to me. Would you say that's true or no?
No, initially, yes. At this stage, they're in now, yes. But now, no. I
love him more now.
I think it's equal now.
It's equal now.
It's
okay.
Equal now. Yeah.
It appears that Ken loves you more than you love him.
Today.
Not that you don't love him, that Ken loves you more than you love him. And it appears.
And Carlos just said a mouthful, because that's why Ken mad, because the public thinks that he loves Tricia more than she loves him. That's why Ken mad.
That y'all are first season newbies. And it's wonderful you're talking to a reality producer and a reality star who knows both ends. I believe that the gossip is getting to Ken. And unfortunately, he's taking it out on you and vice versa.
Yeah.
Are you
as much as I don't like Carlos?
Because I got to yesterday.
He's speaking right now.
Is Ken not at the house today? Is he sleeping did he sleep at the house last night?
Y'all better go follow Ken. Ken somewhere at the damn beach.
Now.
On the road.
To go and do something.
Got it. Did you talk to Ken? Have y'all spoken today? No. Are you afraid that You may lose Ken.
How do I say this? Do I want to lose him? No. And for me, it's hard to say. Well, no, I take it back. Am I afraid? Am I afraid to lose him? Yes and no.
Yes and no. There you go.
Because
Don't
I
ever let
lost so much in life.
baby, you the prize.
It's kind of I even tell myself now that God only
You can go.
lend my kids to me for a little while, just to expect the unexpected of life. So it's like yes and no. I am, but it's like if life happens, yeah, for me, life been happening. So
She has a block
yeah,
up that she's prepared for whatever. I get it.
And Mama B said if she had been truthful in the beginning, I don't think Ken would not have been upset. And Mama B's, you are right. She should have been honest in the beginning. But honestly, now that I've seen this interview, Tricia is not with this reality TV stuff. She's not used to being in front of a camera. Tricia admitted in this interview that every time she was on camera, she would be sweating profusely up under her armpits. Like, this is not what she's used to. She's totally outside of her comfort zone. So maybe she just had a slip up. And not only that, these editors and Carlos and his producers, they know how to edit things for it to appear how they want it to look. So I believe that Trisha was just nervous. She didn't know how this was supposed to go. And she just said the first thing that came to her mind because after Martell is the one that made it weird. When he walked in and act like he didn't know her, that threw her off. And I believe her when she says that. Like, she's like, am I supposed to be keeping that a secret? Like, she really didn't know how to respond to that. And so once she said what she said, just like they say, when you tell one lie, you got to tell several lies to keep up with the first lie.
Can I give you a little advice, Tyler?
Give her a lot of advice because I'm emotional. Like real talk. And I want you to hear from Heavenly, who's a married woman for over 20 years. I'm not married, so I'd rather you hear this from her. What I will say before Heavenly starts is this, okay? I always tell people that reality stars are the superheroes of the industry. And I do mean that. I'm so protective of the reality TV and the stars because you guys are the bravest in the industry. Actors can hide behind a character and be who they want to be when they leave set, right? And nobody judges them in their real life because they don't know them in their real life. They know the character that they play. Musicians can hide behind their music, right? Reality stars, you guys are judged every single day for living your real life out loud in front of the world. And I'm so protective of all of my cast in the sense of I'm always always making sure that you guys
just some, Carlos, not all.
And what I want you to
just
know
a few.
is very challenging, especially your first season, to read the comments. And trust me, I get it. What I want to offer you is this. Always remind yourself, nobody knows you or Ken when you guys are at home together where there's no cameras before the show or even after the show. And I don't want you guys to be faced with the commentary because that's never going to go away. It just isn't. And when it comes.
And guys, you can tell just by the way Carlos is speaking to Trish that Trish is telling the truth. And Carlos knows that Trish is telling the truth. Okay. And PBE says, I agree at Mama B's, but Trisha has lost so much. If she loses him, it probably wouldn't phase her. After losing mama, daddy, and sister, husband, Ken wouldn't matter. And I totally agree, PBE.
To the mental health of reality stars, That's why we have psychologists on set. That's why we have, I mean, not on set, but we have psychologists available for everyone on set.
Clean it up, clean it up, Martel.
Because
I mean,
this being on
Carlos.
reality TV is a mental, is a very mentally challenging thing to deal with at times. And I don't want you and Ken to be faced with this adversity only because of what's being said. You have other issues, that's one thing, but it appears that a lot of it are the comments, and I don't want you to ever in life let anyone who's hiding behind a keyboard to tell you who Latricia is. And the only person who knows that is you. And and I don't want you to ever allow negative things to be said about you to force people to have you make a decision just
And
based
let me
on
just stop right here for a
that's
second.
my
Now, do you guys see how he's having this extensive conversation with Trisha? Trisha is telling the truth. And do you think that he would have the same conversation with Sonny and Moses? I don't believe so. Okay. That's a new couple who are actually married. These people are just dating. Like, she hasn't even gotten divorced yet. So I feel like the reason why he's having this conversation with her is because he believes her. He believes their story. Like, you know what I'm saying? And he knows that Trisha is an introvert. She was thrown out here into something that is totally outside of her comfort zone. Sonny and Moses, especially Sonny, know what this game is about. She's a producer, so she's on her own. Like, he's not going to tell her, look, reality TV can ruin your marriage, because he feels like she has a heads up. She should know because she was a producer. So I think that he's taking this extra time to talk to Trisha this way is because he believes Trisha and he knows Trisha's real story. Guys, pay attention.
I see it.
I would say, I've been on reality TV 10 years now. We're on season 11. And the way we've gotten, and I get the kind of man that Ken is. He's a good guy, but men are men. And my husband hates this word, but it's a very fitting word. The manly men are more sensitive. He don't like that word ever. He don't ever want me to say that word. Men are sensitive. So for you, you're going to have to be the more mature one. I hate to say it, but you are. And on reality TV, you're going to
No,
have
she
to uplift
don't.
that
Pick
man,
Misha.
and you're going to have to tell him on and off camera how you really feel. You can't put a block up with Ken because Ken has already proven how much he loves you on it. We could see it to the point where we could see it. He loves you, right? He's already proven that. So the courting part.
So basically, what Dr. Heavenly is doing is teaching this woman how to coddle her man. No, that's not how this works. You don't coddle a man.
It's over. If you want this man, the only way that y'all gonna survive, and I'm gonna say only way, one thing, what you're going to have to do is limit what you say and what you don't say, and y'all gonna have to get off social media because those people are the devil in the sense that they saying shit just to fuck with you. They ain't got nobody. They want your life. They see you're beautiful, and I'm telling you, it's a lot of haters out there that's gonna sit up there and tell you the wrong thing to do so they can get your man, or
Like
you
you.
don't have them. So y'all gonna have to get off reality, off the internet. You gotta get off Twitter. The one thing that helped my husband and me the most is he does not watch the show. He does not watch the show. He is not on social media. Yes, he's on social media, but bitch, that's me. So if it's a DM, bitch, I'm going back in on these hoes on social media because men can't handle this. They can't. They're fragile.
Listen to her, guys. So Mama B said at PBE, this is sad commentary. She definitely needs serious counseling, and she does. Even 5 years later, Mama B, she still needs counseling. She's never gotten over, losing 3 family members, her marriage, and potentially maybe even another relationship. It just seems that everybody that comes into her life, they go away. And imagine, she has a sister that lives right there in Huntsville. They can't be that close. For your sister to live right there in Huntsville and she didn't know that you've been dating this man for 2 years and that you guys actually live together. So Trisha has separated herself and shut herself, out from the rest of the world. You know what I'm saying? And I guess, her sister is a type, oh, I'm just going to give her space. That's what she wants. And I'm just going to give her space. So she doesn't really have a support system, So you're absolutely right, Mama B. She needs counseling.
In a sense that they can't do it. It ain't just my man. It ain't just your man. It's all men. Most men. It's always an exception. Martell probably is the exception, but he gonna have to get off reality TV, or he can't watch it. He can't be on social media for the life of y'all relationship. And the problem with y'all relationship is it's so fucking new. Y'all don't know each other as well as me and Damon. And are you watching people on the show like Simone, who's been with her husband 30 years and still was finna file for divorce based on some shit that people saying on social media? You gotta cut the social media or either cut the show. One or the other. If you can't cut the social media and don't watch it, you can watch it. He can't watch it. Because the men can't take it, boo. They are territorial. And when there's another ninja on
Guys,
the show,
Tricia looks so sad.
Is a great guy.
This is her real life.
But for the emotional sense of another man, whether Ken says it or not, he don't like that shit. He don't like Martell name with your name ever. So you need to tell this man how you feel if you want him. How much you feel, and say it on fucking TV too. Y'all got a second part, like y'all still feel. Tell this man, and you say, listen, I want to be very clear about what I'm saying and how I feel about you, because he needs that from you, sister.
Heavenly, have you thought for a second that maybe she just don't feel the way that you think she should feel? Maybe she's just not that into Ken. And maybe she's noticed that, Ken is an attention seeker.
He needs that from you. And then see what he loves in you. I didn't see it before we got on this camera. And I'm being very honest. You are an honest person to a fault. And that's fucked up. You got to learn how to have game. You got to learn to lie. But
Tricia ain't got game, guys. She don't. Tricia ain't got no game. That's not who she is.
Because you're trying to be you. I think if you stay on reality TV, be you, you're gonna be great on reality TV because you're giving great. You're giving your real self. But you gotta make sure when it comes to him.
Now, guys, keep in mind, Dr. Heavenly had this whole perception of Tricia. You see how her whole perception of Tricia has changed? So she basically feels the same way I feel about Tricia. Tricia's telling the truth, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. Everybody got their own opinion. That's just my opinion.
You're very open with him, very honest with him. Get with these hoes in a relationship, but you can't never leave your relationship on the line and leaving him feeling like he don't know, because he's sensitive. And you got to realize that. And that's any man if you want a man.
Ken asked for a man up.
Sure.
Fuck that.
Saying the wrong thing.
Shit, nobody got time to be coddling no damn man.
Oh, I love it. Every word.
You got that man, girl. He's already appeared. He's already proven to the world that he loves you.
I don't believe it.
Now, you got to prove it to him, because
Ken is another Martell.
Just like you say, you got that wall up and you got to be prepared for whatever. Let that wall down. You will not be disappointed. Let it down. Put all your love in there with him.
Ken better break them damn walls down.
And it'll be worth your time. I'm telling you. It ain't going to be easy. We say no relationship is perfect. No relationship is perfect. It's never.
Basically, guys, what Dr. Heavenly is saying to her is that she needs to pursue Ken. Now, Ken needs to pursue her. If she's feeling some kind of way, Ken needs to be the one to make her feel comfortable. Don't ever pursue no man. You know what I'm saying? As a woman, you should always want to be pursued.
Gonna be easy, but he seems like the kind of man you ain't gonna know, that the type of man, and in the world could see it, it's his energy.
Hey, I'm gonna try, Dr. Headley. Now, if I do this, he waits.
Room for failure.
Wait, what you? Wait. What you think?
So wait a minute, let's get some first. Don't say that again. Don't say it again. I heard what you said. Don't say it.
No, I didn't hear.
I didn't hear.
Don't.
She should have said that shit again.
She's saying her heart is fragile and she can't take it no more. She's been through enough. You definitely gonna have to get therapy and get all that out. But let him be your therapist, sister. Tell him how you feel about him. Tell him why you've been so distant if you have been, or why you haven't put it all on the line for him. Tell him how much
Now this
you
man gonna
love
see
him,
this
but
interview,
you can't be hurt. Men love that kind of shit.
and
Bitch,
if she actually does what she's saying,
can't be
that's
hurt
gonna be
again.
epic
And he's gonna
fail.
say this, bitch, I would never hurt you. He's going to mean it. And he's going to remember
No,
that
he ain't.
every time y'all have a problem. If we got a problem, we got to talk it way through. You can't leave. You can't leave when we upset. We need to get through this before we go to sleep at night. Now, we might be up all goddamn night, but we going to get through this conversation tonight because you are the most important person to me. Not this show, not working out, not all these people, not even your. And you said your family died, and I'm sensitive to that. Not even your mama. That's why I tell that your mama.
Now y'all should see how Carlos shaking his head because he is another pick Misha and always on the side of the men. So he agrees with Heavenly with this pick Misha energy. You know what I'm saying? For Tricia to make Ken feel like he's surprised. This woman is beautiful. This woman has a nice body. This woman is an engineer at NASA. She's surprised. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God. Mm-mm.
Mama ain't in this. It's between me and you. And when we get married, bitch, we won. And I gotta be open and honest with you in every way possible. No. I'll take that back. Don't tell him every damn thing. You can't do
But
it.
why do you keep saying that? I feel like, so are you saying in marriages you should keep some secrets?
Hell yeah.
My thing is she don't know what secrets to keep and what not to keep.
There you go. She don't.
Uplift the man at all times. If there's something that
She don't have no game.
fragile,
Dr. Heavenly does have some game.
his ego, don't say that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like for example, I'm giving you a perfect example, and these people don't watch this shit. So, like, okay, we 53. My husband just turned 54, right? For example, this is minor, but it ain't minor to him. He got a little patch on his head that's thinning out, right? I would never tell him. You can't say certain shit to men because it's gonna bother them. And you gotta
Carlos got a big one.
You don't. I'm telling you, if he's the man that he appears to be on the show, and he looks like he's a praying man, and he's definitely protected by his stature, just by his presence, he's protecting you. He's provided for you. He bought your kids a car. He's worth it, and because he's worth it, you can let down that the man loves you. Everybody in the world can see it, Trish.
I don't see it.
So you can let down that barrier and be the woman that he.
Now, guys, think back to what he did for her birthday. Some people said, they're okay with their man cooking dinner. I don't want to stay at home. We be at home all the time. Like, why couldn't he have taken her out somewhere, bought her a really nice gift? He has all this money. He buying cars. I think it was all for show. He want women to think, oh, he's going to be cooking dinner. This man probably is on the road 5 days out the week. And probably, like I said, got 3 or 4 other women that Tricia don't even know about. Come on now.
Needs you to be fragile with him. Put it all on the line, sister. And you gotta imagine.
No, he better put it all on the line.
Don't let this you up. Don't listen to Carlos.
Carlos is on your side, bitch.
Bitch, Carlos want good TV. If he
she right about that. Carlos do want good TV.
Get off social media. Social media is the devil. And when you start out, you don't understand it that they do this shit with everybody. Everybody, Beyonce get it.
Yeah, no, I listen. One thing I will say is this.
Cut me off. Go ahead, Carlo. Kidding. That was a joke.
I know, baby. No, one thing Heavenly is saying is true. I've learned from another show I'm doing that men want a public compliment after you guys have a public discourse, right? Because obviously all relationships have issues, right? So let's say you guys had an argument, and let's say it was on camera. At some point when you guys are done with it, she is right. A man wants you to at least say on camera, I love you, you're great, just so that they're able to feel like this woman isn't just embarrassing for camera.
And I can believe that. That's why Ken mad.
But I want to say this to you.
And guys, if you want to get a little bit more insight to who Ken really is, you need to follow Ken on social media, Instagram to be exact. Ken goes up under the Instagram name Dark Skin Ken. And follow Ken on Instagram and see if you don't have a different opinion about Ken instead of, Dr. Heavenly's, oh, he's such a good man. He's a good man, Savannah. Follow Ken on social media and form your own opinion about Ken. Yeah, we're all just speculating, and giving our opinion, but just follow Ken on social media and see if your opinion about Ken doesn't change.
I've been told too in my past relationship that I had a wall up.
And while you're following Ken, he tags Trish a lot in his posts. Follow her too, so that you can see that Tricia is truly an introvert. Follow her too, so you can get a better idea of their relationship dynamics.
Because of hurt as well. And what I sense from you is this. I want to ask you this, Trish. It appears that you're preparing yourself to get hurt by him so that you can say, see, I knew it. And that way you don't have to go through another state of depression.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
But one thing we teach you in Dr. Heavenly University, I hate to bring this up, but whatever you think is going to happen, whatever you think about is going to happen. So you have to go back in and do some positive affirmations or whatever you need to do to make you feel like this is not going to happen. Because if you think it in your mind, it's going to happen. And inadvertently, you making it happen because you think it's already going to happen. So you got to change in your mind that this man loves me. I'm going to be with him. Even if you have to say it out loud, God, dear God,
Oh my
dear
God.
God,
Mm-mm-mm.
nothing is missing, nothing is broken in my relationship. Please help heal my heart, Lord Jesus, that I can receive the man that he is. And tell him how you feel. Tell him how you feel. I love you, but my heart has been broken so bad, Daddy, that I just can't do it again. And he's going to reassure you.
This girl is really pleading for Ken. Dr. Heavenly.
And prepare, not let go.
Wow.
Even when you thinking that, hey, you know what, this is going the wrong way, prepare that I'm gonna make it work.
And Tricia, the fact that she doesn't have game and she don't know how to maneuver relationships because she got with her husband when he was in the 10th grade, when they were in the 10th grade and stayed married for 14 years, she doesn't really have any relationship experience. So she's really taking in what Dr. Heavenly is saying. She's taking that shit to heart. Like, I can look in her eyes and like she's probably really planning on doing what Dr. Heavenly is planning her, for her to do. And it's really a setup for a disaster.
I mean, you got your deal breakers. I mean, if he, you know what I mean? If he's been, but this ain't the dude. He's a good guy.
How do you know that, Dr. Heavenly? Damn.
So with the first mistake, you can't just say I'm out. You got to be prepared and make a decision. If this gonna be the man for me, I'm gonna work through the thick and the thin with him.
Yeah. So look, I want to say thank you, Trish, for stepping into me and Heavenly's podcast where we recap.
And let me say this, guys, before we wrap up. I feel like Tricia, let me see how I want to put this. Well, Ken is not the guy that Dr. Heavenly thinks he is. And let me see what Mama B said. Okay, pop up, go away. Mama B said nobody needs to go to Dr. Heavenly School. Nobody at all, Mama B's, because she's out here giving out bad advice. And I feel like that Tricia is who she says she is, and I feel like she's who we see. What she's saying, I believe she's telling the truth. I know that she's a bad actress or whatever the case may be. She's new to this, reality TV game. She doesn't have game. So I feel like that the person that everybody thinks that Trisha is, I don't believe she's that person. She doesn't have experience in relationships, and she just got caught up. And I believe that Ken is mad because he's looking like a weak ass dude out here, because Trish didn't handle that situation the right way. So he's in his feelings about that. So that's the way I feel about the Trisha and Ken situation.
Yeah, Carlos, can I do one?
Dr. Heavenly say she's not
Let me
finished.
just say this one thing to her. Trisha, after this interview, do me one favor, baby. I know, I asked for a lot. Just
Okay.
call him and say you love him. That's it. Just call your man afterwards and say, because I know you're
I ain't calling.
I know it's fresh. We all know how that is.
Silence is everything. I ain't calling on
be
him.
like this.
And PBE says, ain't nobody finna get on their hands and knees for that nigga. Exactly. And that's basically what Dr. Heavenly is telling her to do. Like, bow down to Ken. Heavenly is a dentist. She better stay in her lane.
Just say, baby, I love you. And something that simple.
Do you have any other questions for me?
No, because you give bad advice. Move around.
Through reality TV. I've been doing it 10 years. You got any questions for me? Because like he gave you great advice. Sometimes you as the woman, you gonna always most times have to be the bigger person in a relationship. Men are not
No.
They not
Women always have to be the bigger person in relationships. That's yes, I agree with that.
Yeah, that is funny, Mama B.
Enough to do that.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something, guys. Silence is everything. If Trish just ignore Ken, let him go on, do what he doing. Like I said, Ken posted up, look like he's at a beach, somewhere nice, somewhere exotic, whatever the case may be. It could be local, not too far away, whatever the case may be. He could just be at the beach or whatever. But if Trisha called Ken's going to see this interview. She said that they watched Messy Monday on a regular basis. And if she calls Ken and tell Ken that she loves him and basically like PBE said, get down on her knees or whatever, she gonna have to deal with that shit for the rest of their relationship. Like he's gonna take that and run with it, and she's gonna always have to be the one that's gonna have to apologize in the relationship. Me, on the other hand, how I would handle that situation, I wouldn't talk to Ken. I wouldn't call Ken. Ken wouldn't see me till he get back home. And when he get back home, I wouldn't be mean to him. I speak to him, but I wouldn't have no conversation. I act just like ain't nothing happened. Ken would actually have to apologize to me because what Ken need to recognize is she's surprised. And if he can't see that, okay, Ken need to move along. And that's just what it is. And PBE says she's giving that you told Harpo to beat me advice. Okay. Like, you know what I'm saying? You teach people how to treat you. And if she tells Ken, oh, I love you and all that, like Ken gonna think he the prize. And he's not. So she shouldn't put that out there into the universe. No, ma'am.
Do you have any questions for Dr. Heavenly on how to navigate reality TV now that you're part of it?
And now I just think the biggest issue is social media.
Social media.
It is. Get off that shit. Get off it. Tell them don't. Let's make a commitment.
Social media. I don't even think social media is getting to Trish. I think social media is getting to Ken.
Talk to Letitia.
He the weak ass nigga.
Letitia Scott was on Twitter and reading comments. Her first 3
got all the muscles for nothing. He a weak ass dude.
Number on her. And I'm only saying this because they talked about it on the show. I don't tell my cast secret if we talk about personally. It almost ruined her marriage to Marcel. Not the other stuff that was happening within the show. Marcel said what people said about his wife entered their marriage, and they almost got a divorce because of the comments. And what Dr. Heavenly said to you is real. People who go out of their way to leave negative comments on your page, they want to get a reaction out of you. And sometimes the reaction is losing your man leaving you, losing your job, because I'm going to say this and I'm not going to take it back. Anybody who takes time out of their day to bully you on social media, they want your life. And the day you decide to leave the show because of what they said about you is the day they sit back and feel like, good, now she's on my level. Right? So know that. Always know that. Always know that. I only respond to positive comments on my social media. People don't like me. I'm the most lovable person in the world, honey. So I already know it's hate. But
Oh
they
my
want to
God,
get a
you
reaction
messy
out
as
of you.
hell,
And they
Carlos,
want
and
to
everybody
knock
know
you
it.
down to size and you can't fall for the okey
And I want to end by saying you are a beautiful person. I didn't know what to expect tonight. You know, I like to play. I'm joking, and you know everything. You're a beautiful person. Realize it that you are worth the most. You are worth everything that's coming to you. All you got to do is speak it and believe it.
That's what you should have been putting down the
Get in
entire
Bible with your
interview,
man, pray with your man,
Dr.
and
Heavenly.
speak it into life. And don't look for the worst based on your past. I think you got it, sister. You got it, the life that everybody wants. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
That girl,
Tricia, we love you. So again, baby, I know you came in like what this gonna be, but again, we like to have you are a good sport. You are a good sport.
And PBE said, shut up, Heavenly.
And from my mouth to your ears, as the creator of the show, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank
He
you,
giving
thank you.
Tricia all the
for doing this
praises.
show. You guys have brought so much life into this show, so much life into this season. You guys are literally the talk of the season. You know what I mean? And with that, obviously comes a lot of great shit. It does. But just know, anytime you need to talk, I'm here for you too. And I'm saying that publicly. If you need me, baby, just let me know.
And you're helping other people. Your
Hey,
story is
Indigo
helping other
girl,
people
thank you so
maneuver
much
their
for being
relationships.
here.
So it's a positive force as well.
She said, I
You're
caught her
helping other
live.
people.
Now, we like to promote businesses. So obviously, first of all, she is a Black female engineer.
Hello.
Okay, let the
You
world
are
know
the
about
prize,
that.
baby
This
girl.
Black woman is an engineer.
Wow.
Okay, praise her. But you also have a fitness company, and your business
Ken
is
is a truck
booming.
driver. Nothing
because
against
of
truck drivers
the
because they
on the
do make
show.
that
So
bag, but she's very college educated engineer that works for NASA.
please say
Women, can we all just
well for
get
this
along and stick together?
because you know, let's say this show did nothing for the business child. So please let the world know
These men get enough support out here.
Thank you. And how they can
Yes.
follow you and sign up.
Okay, on Instagram, I'm on She Fit for Real. That's she
And she
underscore
is fit for real.
for
Okay.
real. And my business is Fit by Choice because I always think you have a choice to live, or the opposite.
Keep in mind, guys, you know, like I said, Tricia is a nice looking lady. She has a nice body. And it takes a lot of dedication. This woman says that she works out for 4 hours straight. She's, a good mother to her kids, which she's pretty much raising by herself as a single mother now that her husband done ran off to be childish and, be immature, whatever the case may be. So, I mean, Trisha is a prize. She has a good job, you know, dedicated woman to working out, being healthy, eating healthy. So, guys.
So it's Fit by Choice. It's FITTBY Choice LLC. And that's
She fit the real.
She finna go be nosy. Dr. Heaven, she writing that down. She finna go be nosy. She finna be all up in her and Ken business.
Real.
And that's good, because she gonna see what we see.
Okay,
She gonna see Ken out there with them thirst traps.
Yes, both those are Instagrams. Fit by Choice is where you can sign up for personal training. I do go to my client's gym. I do go to their house.
Now listen, guys, this is gonna tell you how Martell tried to trap her. She said, I do go to my client's gym and I do go to my client's house. So that's her job, to go to your house to train you. So the fact that she went to Martell's house a couple of times, that's no big deal. That's her business. That's what she does.
We'll make you sign a waiver. It's on to you.
Yeah.
And she said she will make you sign a waiver if she has to come to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get your website. Get your website. Before we wrap, get your website, baby. That'll
I
help.
will.
And make sure you have the PayPal, the credit card, debit card embedded on the website too, so when people sign on, they can pay for it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, they pay a fee,
Yeah.
a reservation fee, definitely. Well, Dr.
You guys have got me all. It's just crazy. I have never stepped out of my.
And I have to Indigo Girl, y'all, sorry for the phone. Hopefully it'll stop. Let me see. Indigo Girl said working out 4 hours straight sounds like depression to me. That's a lot of working out. Exactly, Indigo Girl. I know you just got here, but that's what I was saying. It sounds like Tricia is still in depression and she really needs to go and see a therapist because that is excessive. And she says she works out almost every day and some days 2 to 3 times a day. Like, when do you spend time with your kids? And that also leads me to believe that Ken is not around. Ken is on the road. So she has a lot of alone time to just sit in her feelings and be in that depression.
A little bit like this. It's beyond me.
It's good though. It's good stuff. It's good. It's good. It's good. Live the life of your dreams, Paula. No, live with no regrets. Live the life of your dreams. It's been an honor and a pleasure meeting you. Thank you for allowing us to talk to you.
Yes. Thank you, Trish. We'll talk soon, baby.
Absolutely. And that's the end of that, guys. I really enjoyed this interview, whatever you want to call it, because I really did get to see another side of Trisha. And I know a lot of people are not going to agree with my perspective, but again, it is my perspective, and this is how I feel about Trisha. And I just really do hope that Trisha can get some counseling because I feel like she's still in that dark place. Even though she's smiling, whatever the case may be, I still feel like Trisha is in a dark place. And PBE said, "No thanks, Trisha. I don't want to look like Hulk Hogan with the boobs." Yeah, you know, when it comes to a woman, like Angela Bassett, I think she has a nice physique for her age and everything, but even I haven't seen her recently, but even when I look at her, she's on the borderline of looking a little too masculine. And Trisha for me definitely looks a little too masculine for my, if I was working out, I would want to be toned, but not that masculine looking. And even Ken is way too much. Way, way, way too much. And that's another reason why I feel like Ken is an attention seeker. Unless Ken is, entering into, whatever they call it, when you're working out, you're a professional bodybuilder tournaments. There's no reason why he should just continue to want to bulk up like that. And at any point, if he stops working out, then he just gonna have a whole bunch of stretch marks. It's not gonna be a pretty sight. And guys, we have been on here for over 2 hours. I've enjoyed this. Thank you so much for everybody that stopped in. We had a couple of content creators to stop by. I really appreciate that. And I just want to give a shout out to Kicking It with Courtney. If you don't follow Kicking It with Courtney, you definitely want to go and follow her page, as well as Love Seen Heard. She also has a YouTube page with great content, her and Courtney both. And Courtney comes on every day, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock a.m. So if you're available during those times, definitely check her out. And Love Seen Heard, I don't believe she has a set time. She's kind of like me. just comes on at random times when, she has something that she, wants to talk about. And if there's any other content creators, I'm not sure. PBE, if you're content creators, but if so, guys, follow her channel as well. And guys, that's going to be all for this video. Again, like the video, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so that you know each and every time I upload a video. Thank you so much for watching, and bye for now. And thank you, Indigo Girl. She says, I'll do the replay. And PBE says, I enjoyed this commentary and the interview breakdown. Thank you so much, PBE. And again, guys, bye for now.